Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second webinar of this VOXReality open call. Today, my name is Ana Luisa. I am from F6S and I am the FCTP manager of VOXReality open call. Together with me, I have Yusuf, who is, hello Yusuf, good morning. Yusuf is the scientific and technical coordinator of VOXReality from the University of Maastricht. So before we start, I will, as you know, as soon as you join, you receive a message mentioning that the webinar will be recorded. And so this is a first initial note. And finally, please use the question and answers box to leave your questions. We will be happy to address them towards the end of the mid of the webinar. So for today, we will start driving you through the VOXReality technologies, and my colleague will do it, Yusuf. And finally, we will have an overview of the VOXReality open call, its objectives, as well as the challenges that the call proposes the participants to address. And without further delay, I will give the floor to Yusuf to start the project presentation. Go ahead, Yusuf.
Thank you so much, Anna, and welcome everyone. So we will start with the objectives of the VOXReality technology development tasks. So our one of the objectives is to enhance natural communication among humans and between humans and machines in XR environments. And we are implementing NLP models which are pre-trained, they are publicly available, they will be optimized, they are already multilingual and visually grounded. And one of the things that we are working on is to have knowledgeable of the domain-specific needs models. Can you go to the next one? So we have three use cases: digital agents, virtual conferencing, and augmented theater. So in the first one, we have a personal assistant that is teaching the trainees how to assemble a machine, and this is using our models to talk with the trainees. The second one is the virtual conferencing, where we have a virtual conference, and you can use our assistant that is helping with the navigations. And also it is multilingual communications between people in virtual conferences. And the last case is a theater, augmented theater, where we are using audio-visual information to provide translations real time on a theater play. And this is the general view of the technologies that we are providing and the overall architecture of all connections between the VOXReality models. So we have a speech recognition model, neural machine translation model, visual language models, and a conversation agents. And the arrows indicate the connections between these models that is already established in the project. The next slide, please. So the first one is automatic speech recognition. So here we are providing a multilingual model that is robust against non-native speech. And it has connections between virtual language models and machine translation models and conversation agents, in a sense that we are using context from visual language models. We are providing the transcriptions as an input for machine translation, and also the transcriptions as user prompts for conversation agents. And we also have a small model that performs a script alignment for scripted cases such as theaters. And the second one is machine translation. Here it is also multilingual, and we are also integrating context information from different cues. And one of them is visual language models in the form of text. And the current addition to what we are working on in machine translation is the enhancement of Greek literary text, because Greek is already known to be, Greek language translation is already known to be, let's say, less performant. and we are trying to enhance that, especially for literary cases in Greek plays. And the third one is the visual language models. Here we are focusing on visual question answering and image and video captioning. These models work only with English. And currently we are also working in integrating depth to these models to have 3D information also. And the last one is conversation agents. So here we have two assistants. One is giving navigation instructions in virtual spaces, and the other one is a teacher, is a trainer, let's say, that is focused on understanding manuals to be able to create conversations with users. And again, these models are English only. And next, yeah, back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you very much. So about the open call, it's important to note that the call is open since the 5th of April, and we will close it by the 5th of June at 17 CT. Please have in mind the time deadline, and if you have any difficulties, we strongly advise you that you close the call prior, if possible, the day before, and without leaving for last minute. Well, the goal objective is to integrate VOXReality models into the new XR applications, and by doing this, we expect to advance immersive experience across various sectors. We propose 3 different challenges: the integration challenge, the extension challenge, and the full cycle challenge. And for the call, we have available 1 million euros to fund 5 projects in equity free funding of 200K per project. We are targeting the SMEs either as an individual organization or as a consortium of in max of 2 entities. And I think it's now time that we address the challenges, Yusuf, and you are the best person. Go ahead.
Thank you. So the first one is the integration challenge. Here we are looking for integration of our models into new applications, new XR applications. So this is one of the questions that we get a lot, that we would like to see new domains and new types of applications other than the use cases that we are developing, hopefully. And in this challenge, we expect the applicants to integrate at least one of the VOXReality models. And this could be speech recognition, visual language model, conversation agent, or machine translation. And we want a fully operational functionality, meaning that we also want to see software tests such as load testing, unit tests, and everything to prove that the operations are, these functions are fully operational. And we also want to see a scenario for user testing in this case, in this challenge, using at least 30 users to test the solution with test the application that integrates our models. And in the end, we would expect you to write a comprehensive report detailing all the development phases, the software test results, the updates, fixes that you did based on the user tests, and the results of your user analysis. And the second challenge is the extension challenge. So here we are looking for an extension of one of our models, at least one of our models. So we would like you to use the models as a pre-trained model and to integrate one of these 3 challenges that we provide here. And you can also, at least one of them, you can do more. So these are adding a new language or a new direction to improve the scope of the model. So currently we are providing 6 languages. So we would like to see new languages added. The second one is new architectural components, and this could be that you integrate new architectural components, such as, for example, adapters or new loss functions, new decoders to perform better with the models, or adapting the models to a new downstream task. So if the model is already doing machine translation, you can use it for generation, for example, and you can use the encoded part for pre-trained model for the language understanding, and then you can do new tasks with these models. And we want you to provide a literature investigation for this. And then we want you to test these new models against benchmarks that are known and present the performances to us. And also we would like to see after you change the models, how is the models performing against the original tasks of VOXReality? So if you add a new language, for example, is it still performing close to the original version in the languages that we are providing? And again, here we would like to see a comprehensive report with all the development, methodology, hyperparameters, test results, and of course, the discussion of your outcomes. And the last one is the full cycle challenge. So this integrates both of the challenges. So here you need to integrate at least one of the models, and you also need to use at least one of the models as a pre-trained model to enhance it. And again, from the list of the enhancement tasks in the previous slide, you can choose one of them to do the literature investigation to enhance the model. And then here, since this is a challenge that does both of the challenges in a capacity, so we would like you to do a user test with at least 5 to 10 users here, rather than 30. And again, the models needs to be tested against the benchmarks and the original VOXReality tasks. And the comprehensive report needs to detail everything that we mentioned in the first two challenges. And I think that is it for the challenges, Anna.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Yusuf. So when is the open call running and what's the program? As I said, the call is opening since the 5th of April and we are closing it by the 5th of June at 17 CEST. From there on, we will start an evaluation and selection of the proposals. This is a procedure that is done by external evaluators and the team. It's a combination of both experts until we find 5 winners, and we expect to do it by the end of June. And from there on, we start the contracting program. And finally, the kickoff of the program is estimated to start by July. So the 5 projects will be running for a period of 12 months. You will be with our team for 1 year. We are very much looking forward to it. How do you apply to the open call? Well, first of all, we strongly advise you to read all the open call guidelines and all the documents available in VOXReality open call website. You have all the information there with the full terms and conditions. And as well, we have just released one new deliverable, a report, a comprehensive report, including all the information and all the documentation that you should read to apply to VOXReality open call. We strongly advise you to read it. So preparing your application. The application is handled via the F6S platform. So you should go to f6s.com and create your company profile. And from there on, you have access to the VOXReality open call pipeline, where you can start your application by inserting your proposal info, your SME legal data, and accepting all the requirements to join the VOXReality funding program. Just a second. Yeah. So the step 3, while submitting your application, you should describe your project following the proposal template. That is the Annex 2 technical proposal template. You have any other rule included there and some guidance how to build your application and how to draft your proposal that we are so much looking forward to receive. After you finish your proposal, you should upload the completed PDF file via the F6S platform with the indications that are given and provided by in the rules, guidelines, and also in the platform. And from there on, you submit your application. All the documents that you should read are mentioned here, and we will start with the guidelines for applicants and all the annexes of the guidelines for applicants, meaning the application form, that is the same application that you will find online, but we have it, we offer you a PDF format where you can see all the details you need to fill in. Then you have the proposal technical annex, where you will describe the project, your project. Finally, on the Annex 3, you have the sub-grant agreement that you, if in case you are awarded, we will need to, you need to submit and send us so we contractually agree on the conditions of the implementation. Also important to note all these three other annexes, meaning the declaration of owner if in case you are an individual or a consortia, the self-declaration for an SME, and the bank account information important for the transfer of funds. Please check if you comply with the SME qualification criteria by checking the European Commission recommendation mentioned here and the SME qualification guide in case you have any doubts of the qualification of your SME or of your company. And now we give floor to the question and answer session. We see that we already have some questions here in the chat. We start by that. So I will be reading the questions and we live answer, okay? So Tom is asking what kind of things should go into one solution concept, proposed approach, technologies and methodologies used in Annex 2 technical proposals, specifically into methodologies and technologies. How specific does it need to be? Yusuf?
I think you can also add something to what I'm going to say, most probably for this one, because it is about the how they need to apply. But I would say, in general, if you have experience with European calls, like Horizon calls, that here we would expect you to detail what you are going to do with the technologies that you also already have access to from Vox, but also how you are going to create new things there. So explanation of your application, what is your approach to development, how are you going to do the tests, what tests you are going to perform, and let's say the components that you are going to use that are your own or external. So everything that would show the feasibility of the application that you are going to develop should be included in this section.
Definitely. And to complement, please bear in mind that this is we are offering a lump sum of 200K. So it's important for us to learn and to read how are you implementing, what is your proposal of the project you are bringing, right? We want to know as more as possible. Well, of course, within the frame that we gave you, the max pages allowed by per proposal, and to compile with all the rules set in the guidelines for applicants that you definitely should read. Thank you, Yusuf, for that. Tom asks further, and what kind of things should go into application domain?
And this is let's imagine that you are developing a health application. So this should be that you explain what is the use case, what is that domain, what are the needs there, why you are developing this application, how it is going to have an impact there. So the application domain, when we say application domain, we are mentioning like, is it a conferencing? Is it human-computer interaction? Is it health? Is it industry? So specify where your application is going to be used, why you are developing this, how it is going to have an impact on that.
Great, thank you, Yusuf. Tom still asks, how do you separate the solution concept and the use of VOXReality components?
The use of VOXReality components is actually a subsection of the solution concept, I would imagine. The solution concept is the whole application. Imagine that you don't have VOXReality components. How would you describe your application idea? So you need to, as I said before, in the solution concept, you need to explain the whole application. And one section of it should be how VOXReality components are going to be integrated there and what components are you going to integrate there.
Thank you, Yusuf. I hope this is clear enough. How would the application process work for two companies as a team? Do both companies need to hand in the application forms, or is it enough if the lead company does it for both together? Is it sufficient to sign the document once then? Oh, I can answer this one. In case you are applying as a consortia, only one applicant should send the application, and this means that you will be the leader of the project. So only one person needs to, or one company should send us the application. Thank you. Please confirm the UK is eligible. Yes, the UK is eligible. Please read the guidelines for applicants, the section that is referring the eligible applicants and the eligible countries. I also invite you to read the annex that is mentioned from the European Commission recommendation and the latest update that took place in the beginning of the year. Thank you. For the integration challenge, what TRL level are you looking for? What TRL level are we looking for, Yusuf?
I would say above lab tests, because I don't want to mention, let's say, TRL 5, TRL 7, TRL 3, because it is different for every industry, type of industry. But I would say it should be above lab tests. So as you saw from the challenge identification, that we are mentioning that you need to do user tests and the whole solution needs to be implemented fully. So it needs to be able to test with users.
Great, I think it was clear enough. Thank you. How will the benchmarking be conducted? Will you be exposing the pipeline of the use cases in some way?
The benchmarking is for the full cycle challenge and the enhancement challenge. So there are benchmark. When we say benchmark, it is about the data sets or models that are already being used in the literature. For example, if you check one of the deliverables that we have submitted, we have provided in the guide for applicants, I think, right, Anna?
Yes.
We are also doing the same thing. So we have some benchmarks that we are comparing our models with. So this benchmarking is something that we expect in this manner. But if you, for the second part of the question, we are not going to expose the pipeline of the use cases, but this is something that we can discuss after the open call development phase ends. Maybe this is something that we can collaborate in the later stages for our second pilots, that if you want to, let's say, contribute to that, if we have a, let's say, good connection for our use cases, we can find a common ground and we can test also with our applications. But this doesn't mean that you don't do the tests for the reporting. So you need to do all the tests that you need to do for your application yourself. But if, as I said, if it is successful, if it makes sense, if it is highly related with our use cases, then we can also improve on your results.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you very much. Another question regarding the evaluation criteria: is growth of the EU solely economic, or are wider impacts considered? Well, I will answer and then I want your backup as well. Okay, Yusuf. Well, I think it's important that we consider the growth of the EU in a wider impact. We want to achieve as more impact as we can and to see the picture, the overall picture of the European Union. So I think we should consider the wider impact, not only the economic impact, but also the societal impact that the project is also bringing, and the difference considering the impact we want to achieve as well, leveraging the needs of the society. What do you think about this, Yusuf?
Yeah, I would give one small example. One of the use case applications that we are developing is theater, augmented theater. So if you are going for these kind of use cases, I would imagine that it has not imagine, but this is why we are doing this use case, that it would have impact in growing the let's say cultural impact of EU also. So you can also consider cultural, economic, and as Anna said, societal in general impacts. So we are, let's say, looking for wider impacts also, as a short answer to this question.
Yes, it's a question that can leave us for long here, right? Thank you. For value, their ambition toward accessing other funding sources, does this refer to post-project or during the project? I'll read it again. For value, their ambition toward accessing other funding sources, does this refer to post-project or during the project? I'm unsure where this is written. Do you recall, Yusuf? No.
I don't remember this.
I invite you to paste this or to post this question in the discussion page on F6S VOXReality pipeline, and we can address it later properly, because we don't really see where is this written in the context of the question. So apologies for that, but please type it in discussion page on VOXReality pipeline. Thank you. Daniel Monaco, I am writing on behalf of Steric. A few days ago, we wrote an email with some questions about eligibility, but we didn't get an answer. Could you please consider our eligibility issue? We are hopeful to submit a really interesting proposal. Daniel, I would like follow the same. I will give you the same advice. Please write your questions and doubts directly in the discussion page on F6S pipeline, or you can also add it here if you have any other question, because well, this is only a comment and we are here to answer your questions. Thank you very much. What is the available documentation of VOXReality models and components in order to properly describe them in the proposal? Is there a public deliverable available? Yusuf, would you like to answer this?
We already mentioned this, and we also shared the document link, not the specific document, but the link that also contains the documents. So there are two. One is about the models, and the second one is on how to optimize them and also how to deploy them. So there are two documents that are describing all the models and components in detail. So you can find them in the link that is provided.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you very much. Well, another one from Tom. Thank you for all the answers so far. You're welcome, Tom. How does the funding work? Do you need to send demands for payment? Do you get the sum at the end after showcasing the results? Does it fall under the de minimis or any other regulation? Does it correlate to any other national funding programs? Do you need to specify any other funding you currently receive as a company? Well, I can answer this. We have 3 sprints program during these 12 months, as you can see and read in the guidelines for applicants. The different sprints are linked with payments. So after the conclusion of each of the sprints and approval from the linked deliverables from in the different phases of the project implementation, a payment will be released. So the payment will be done in 3 different phases until we reach to the final stage of the project. Do you want to add here something, Yusuf? No, thank you.
Thank you for the answer.
How is the complexity of your proposed solution rated? Would the complexity be rated lower if we integrate one single Vox component instead of multiple modules? This is an interesting question, Yusuf.
Yes. When we say complexity of your proposed solution, we don't only mention we don't only think how many of the models that you are going to integrate, but in the sense of the whole solution that you are providing. So if it is that you have already an existing application and you just want to integrate, let's say, speech recognition to it, this would be less complexity, I would assume. But if you are going to provide a new application in a new domain, and integrate even only one model, let's say, it would be more complex solution there. So you are developing a new thing, new application, you are providing a, let's say, added value to the European Commission's guidelines, not only to the VOXReality project, but also on the EU level. Then it is going to be, I think, considered as a higher complexity, but this also will go to the reviewers, because the reviewers are going to be external reviewers, and they are also going to have some guidelines, but it would be better if you explain your solution in detail so that they understand that this is not, I don't want to use this word, but it is not a trivial task, let's say.
Thank you, Yusuf. What are the minimum requirements for a strategic business partnership as an AI-oriented social organization? It asks Niklas. Which people or groups are qualified to apply? Well, I'm unsure about your question, Niklas, and well, I would understand it as this is a question linked with the eligible applicants, and I will answer like that. The eligible applicants are SMEs working in the field of XR, and you can read the eligibility criteria under the section number 4, number 4 in the guidelines of applicants. If you have any other question, please address it either during today's session or via the discussion page in F6S pipeline. Now, which annex should be submitted at the 5th of June application stage? The guidelines give conflicting advice. When you submit your proposal, you should submit the Annex 2. So basically, you will be filling in Annex 1 live and online while you answer all the form questionnaires in F6S VOXReality pipeline. And after that, towards the end, you will be asked to upload the technical proposal. So this is referring to Annex 2. The technical proposal that you submit in PDF format according to the guidance that is given in the platform. From the evaluation criteria for value, their ambition toward accessing other funding sources, does this refer to post-project? I think we answered this, no? Yes, I think we answered. The guidelines give conflicting guidance as to whether there are 4 or 5 evaluation criteria. Please can clarify what the evaluation criteria are. Yes, the guidelines for applicants section number 5 refers to the evaluation criteria and the eligibility criteria that we will be looking at. So we will be looking at the alignment of your proposal, the excellence, impact, value, and implementation. They are 5 criteria that will be analyzed by the team when evaluating your proposal. If there is any difficulty in understanding, we should definitely answer you and clarify. We will also post this question in the discussion pipeline page of F6S to be clear for everyone that we will be looking into 5 evaluation criteria. Continuing from the previous question, as we will need to develop a new use case full cycle, it is likely that the models will be more accurate for our use case, but less so for VOXReality's use cases. Thus, the benchmarking will score our models less than the original ones. In short, should we focus on optimizing the models for generalization rather than fine-tuning them specifically for our use case? Could you elaborate a bit more on this, Yusuf?
Of course. So, sorry, we would like to see actually a report of this. We also expect that you are completely right, that if you fine-tune the models to your use case, it is going to be worse for the original cases. This is expected, but we would like to see how worse, how much worse it is going to be. So if you would like to try, let's say, 2 different versions of fine-tuning, then we would like to see, for example, that the one that is more generalized to be chosen, to be used, right? So the idea is to see these kind of comparisons, to have something close to a scientific approach to the experimentation of the models.
Thank you, Yusuf. I hope this clarified our attendee.
I think so, because we have the thank you for the answer.
Yes. Thanks for pointing out. Thank you. Are all sections evaluated as pass or fail except for the evaluation criteria, alignment, excellence, impact, value, and implementation in Annex 2 technical proposal? Answering this, we have a different scoring, as you can see in the section number 5, when that it's dedicated to the evaluation, where we mention the 5 criteria that we will be evaluating, and then further down you have a table mentioning the different scores that your proposal will be given in the different sections of evaluation criteria. It's not only pass or fail, there are any other, because we consider from 0 to 5 score without half points, meaning that you might not score as best in one criteria and fantastic in the other one. So it's a balance, and the combination of these scores will give your proposal a final score that will mean that you will be either awarded or not. I hope this is clear enough. How are sections such as ethics scored, or are they just pass or fail? I will first address, and then I will ask also Yusuf to mention here some parts, because we are talking about VOXReality is a XR project, and despite the technologies advancements that we bring into scene, we should consider and reflect about the ethics behind the developments and the implementation that your projects will bring. So meaning that there are the rules that we all need to comply with, as you may be very well aware, given that you, for sure, if you are here with us, it's because you work in the area and you know exactly that we have to compile with to comply with any other rule linked with the ethics of XR. And for that, I give you the floor, Yusuf. What do you think here?
I cannot give a, let's say, as an exact answer to this question. Thank you for your response to this, Anna. But I would add what we are actually thinking about the ethics part of these proposals. Maybe this will clarify a bit how much information they need to integrate there. So for the ethics part, for the integration and the full cycle challenges, you know now that we need to have users testing the system. So if you have users testing the system, you need to have ethical approvals and you need to have proper ethical considerations to be applied there. And this would, with this sentence, this would imply maybe that the enhancement challenge doesn't need something like this, but actually it does because of the AI Act that is already passed. We need to comply with certain aspects. And there we need to make sure that the models that we are developing are not high-risk models. So these types of considerations, ethical approvers, users going through the applications themselves in two challenges, and the AI Act, especially if you are developing new things there, it is something that we need to see in the proposals, how you are going to tackle this, how you are going to respond to these aspects is important. I think this is something that this is all that I can add to this question.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you very much. How is the section on team skills and expertise evaluated? Is it combined with 3.1 for implementation? Well, definitely it's important to us to read how expert in the field your SME and your team is. That's why we ask you to brief us about the team that you propose to be involved in the projects, either if you are an individual applicant or as a consortia. We would like to know who is the team behind the scenes, to know and learn about your expertise, how comfortable you are with the field and what with the project that you proposed us, right? That's important. And yes, it's a combination of both. Correct? Do you want to add anything else, Yusuf?
No.
No. Super. Which sections are used to evaluate alignment? There is some minor variation in the open call objectives in the guidelines, which will be used to evaluate alignment. Well, if you see the Annex 2, it asks you about the objectives of your sub-project, about your project. What are you bringing in the scene? How do you tackle the needs of the VOXReality project? How do you tackle the objectives of the project? Because overall, your project will be strongly aligned with VOXReality aim to achieve the results that we propose. That's why we enlighten you and we give you additional information about the project objectives. What is VOXReality story? What's behind the concept of VOXReality? So you are very well briefed about the project, so you can align your projects with the VOXReality aims to achieve in the future. Anything else to add, Yusuf?
Thank you for your answer.
Cool. Well, I guess we don't have any other question. Maybe we could open the floor for live questions. If you feel more comfortable with it, we can give 2-3 minutes to do that. Can we do that? I ask for the support of my backstage team, please. And if there are any questions, please just raise your hand and you will be given the floor to interact live with us. We are here with few more minutes to be with you. If in any case you have any other question, please type it as well. Yes, we have a hand raised, Nicholas. Nicholas, do you have?
Hello.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hi, hello.
Yeah. Good morning. Please, this is Nicholas, currently speaking from Ghana. We are an AI company that is focused on developing solutions for meeting sustainable development challenges. So we recently subscribe on F4GS, and we saw your company and we were interested in the project. So that's why I joined the call to find out more about it and how best we can also come on board. So I wanted to find out. I realize it's really centered on virtual reality, and my question was, are we, as part of the proposal, are we supposed to come out with a pitch or a solution in order to, or is it kind of a teamwork or partnership in order to develop on your existing solutions or your existing API, something like that?
Thank you, Nicholas, for the question. Yusuf, what do you think about it?
The call that we are funded is about extended reality, and the call that we are funding in VOXReality is also needs to be XR related. So we are looking for applications in extended reality. So it could be augmented reality, mixed reality, virtual reality, but it needs to be XR in general. And the idea is not to, let's say, it's not about subcontracting and having some teams work on our applications, but it is a separate task, let's say, that we want to have 5 different projects, sub-projects, that are using the models that we are developing, the components that we are developing, or they are trying to also they are trying to enhance them. And this enhancement is also required, is also something that we would like to go for. That's why we defined the challenge, because one of the goals of VOXReality is also to provide, as I mentioned in the beginning, open access, publicly available models that are pre-trained. So this challenge is going to test that whether whether these models can be utilized by third parties as a pre-trained model. And since they are also models that are solving some specific tasks, can they be integrated in applications to actually do the tasks that they were designed for? So we would like to, as I said, we would like to have all these models and components that we are developing to be used by companies, SMEs, especially outside of the consortium, of VOXReality consortium. And we would like to have everything in XR related.
Cool. Thank you, Yusuf. I hope it was clear enough, Nicholas. Any other question?
Yeah, thank you very much for the clarification.
Super.
You're welcome.
Any other question from the audience? Well, if you want to discuss anything else and to send us any question, please do it. We still have a few minutes. I just want to give you additional info about the open call terms and condition and where can you find out more about the open call. So the open call terms and conditions, as we already mentioned to you in the beginning, it's available in the project website in this dedicated section to open call. You can also ask your questions directly in the F6S discussion panel, as we mentioned before, in f6s.com/VOXReality open call discuss. We also have these foreseen two sessions of Ask Me Anything meaning that you will have the possibility of being with the team during 30 minutes. You no need for registration. The link is always the same. We will paste it in our social media, and you can easily connect with us during these 30 minutes. The next session, and first of all, it's on the 23rd of May at 12 CET. We will be live during 30 minutes, as I was saying, and you can enter the room and send the questions and throw on us the questions you want to see answered, either technical questions, any administrative question, doubts while filling in your application. Please enter and give the floor is yours. In case you have any difficulties during the submission, please contact the support team at support@fsuccess.com. The team will be helping you during the application in case you have any difficulties with the platform. Anything else? Of course, you have always the social media to connect with us, to learn more about possibilities during this time while we're still on with the call to connect with us. I just thought again about another potential possibility that you join the team. It will be on the 30th. We will have a webinar and a short presentation of VOXReality project, followed by a breakout session where we will be once again dedicated to the open call and answering your questions if you have any. The registrations are now live, and you can find more information both in the website and social media, namely the LinkedIn and Twitter, but also we will give you more information about this upcoming webinar in the discussion page in F6S pipeline. I think we have another question. No, really helpful. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us. I also want to point out in the webinar chat, you will find information about the public repositories where you can access the VOXReality assets. We are present in GitLab, Docker Hub, and also in the Hugging Face. So the links are pasted now in the webinar chat, and we, of course, in case you miss it, we will paste it also in the discussion page in F6S platform. Any other question? We still have some minutes here, 6 minutes to go. Don't miss any opportunity. No, there are no silly questions. If you have any, please just type them or raise your hand. We are still here with you. Yusuf, any advice for the applicants?
I think we have already in this session mentioned a lot of things that would be considered as advice to go. But what I can say, what I expect from the calls is to see some interesting and cool ideas. Hopefully, we will find some. And in the previous one, we already saw a couple of ideas from some of the participants. So I am looking forward to all the proposals that is going to be submitted in June, and looking forward to working with people who are going to be selected.
Exactly. We look forward to receiving your applications. Well, an advice from my side would be not to wait for the last minute to submit and to type in all the information in the form. Sometimes we think we have plenty of time, but there are some situations that we do not foresee, and you might encounter any difficulty, and we cannot always be there for you on time as you wish. So please have this in mind. Even though that we have the support at F6S available for you, we need time to answer your difficulties and constraints. So strongly advise to submit your application as soon as possible without waiting for the last minute, 1 minute to 5 CET. Please don't do that. That is a dangerous situation that you are putting you in. And also, we don't want to miss the opportunity to have you in the team and to read your application, that we are sure it's really creative. It brings a lot of impact and a new dimension that we haven't thought about, and we look forward to work with you. And I think if no other question, it was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you, Yusuf, to accompanying me in this second webinar. And
Thank you,
thank you
Anna,
all.
and thank you all the participants for the questions and being here.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to send your questions via the discussion page in F6S platform. We are here to address them all. Thank you very much and have a great day.